Coming up,
Barber Ranch been able to combine phenotype with these genetic databases.
This would have been the first bull that we purchased from Barber's Ranch. Turned out that we had a Denver National Champion on our hands.
decades of breeding experience and hard data put Barber Ranch Hereford genetics on top. Next on The American Rancher. Hello and welcome to The American Rancher. I'm Pam Minnick. Two of the most power-packed F1 females in the beef industry begin with Hereford genetics. Cattle producers know the potency of Hereford hybrid vigor when crossed with Angus or Brahman cattle and other breeds as well. The American Hereford Association has the largest crossbreeding database in the world that includes practically every breed imaginable. And Barber Ranch in Channing, Texas combines that data with decades of breeding experience and a clear understanding of what their customers demand from Hereford genetics.
Whenever Mom and Dad started their herd, they were basically line one from Cooper and Holden's. They continued with a straight line one performance horned Hereford herd until probably the 90s, and we introduced polled genetics. It was like getting a black baldy. Both breeds complemented one another, and we got added performance on weaning weights and yearling weights and added muscle. And also had beautiful udders and milked really well.
What we were selecting for is a really rugged, high-performing animal that really brought in the best of both worlds in terms of line one cattle that a lot of our foundation cattle came from. Things that a commercial producer and people that are being really progressive in terms of data and measurements are focused on.
Our biggest two traits that we breed for are for functional cattle and fertility. Along with that, we try to raise the stoutest, best-looking cattle out there.
The focus of our breeding program is to breed performance cattle that have a lot of genetics that start out with a low birth weight and have a good spread and really wean off with a big calf. And we feel like this not only helps us in the purebred seed stock industry service other Hereford breeders, but it really helps us with our commercial cattle base. We know that we can raise bulls that go out and you can put them on Brahman cows for those great F1 tiger stripe females, or they can go back on black cows for those black white-faced calves. They gain well, they perform well, they just do a great job for a customer.
It seemed like when we first started, everybody wanted horn bulls because they thought the pole bulls didn't have any muscle and didn't have the performance. Where now, the pole cattle have got the muscle and performance of the horn cattle and maybe a little more blended. If anybody has used Angus bulls, they want polled, but they're asking for homozygous polled. And they still want the balanced below breed average on birth weight and above 100 on yearling weight. And so really a balanced animal.
The biggest difference between homozygous and heterozygous polled cattle is both can be polled. With heterozygous, you're more likely to still get a few horn cattle here and there. But homozygous polled, the majority of the cattle are going to be polled, even when you're breeding them to a horn cow. The biggest reason we're having customers ask for homozygous polled cattle right now is it's the younger generation, and if you think about it, it's less work when you're breeding for polled cattle. Horn cattle are discounted at the market. Whenever you're raising horn cattle, you've got to either saw their horns for bulls like we do, and then for the show cattle, they're surgically dehorned. And with homozygous polled cattle, you're not doing all that. And plus with the bulls, a horned bull's a lot more likely to tear up a fence and a pen than a polled bull just because of its horns.
We've had the fortune of being able to bring in some homozygous polled females, a herd that has been identified as producing just the upper percentage of homozygous polled that's really going to allow us to elevate our program to a new level based on being able to widen that growth of that particular line.
People are asking about homozygous polled Herefords at our bull sale for the last couple of years, and we came across this opportunity from Lowens there in Oklahoma, and they're great breeders, and we really had such a great opportunity we couldn't pass it up.
John has really concentrated on low birth weight, high carcass data, and he's always been a stickler for teats and udder. Really an excellent herd based on their udder quality, but they've got the added benefits of really a low birth weight, super high growth, and he's always concentrated on carcass trait.
You know, we're never going to change who we are. We're always going to raise both. You know, we see advantages in both horned and polled cattle, and we're still always going to raise horned cattle, and we're going to raise stout, good-looking, functional cattle. We want cattle that are good-looking, that can compete in the show ring, but this kind of brings a different dimension to what we're trying to do. And with that, you know, probably in the future, the homozygous deal is going to be bigger than it is right now even, and we're going to try to incorporate, you know, our herd into that and vice versa to try to, you know, raise the best genetics possible for our customers.
Coming up,
One of the cornerstones of our program has been able to combine phenotype with these genetic databases.
decades of diverse breeding experience pairs up with the world's most extensive crossbreeding database. That's after the break on The American Rancher. Welcome back to The American Rancher. Barber Ranch has always been on the cutting edge of Hereford genetics. Backed by the world's most extensive crossbreeding database, Barber develops polled and horned Hereford genetics that satisfy the requirements of the most demanding seed stock and commercial cattle operations.
We've always stressed good-looking cattle with a show ring appeal, and it seems like in probably the 90s, people really started looking at EPDs and watching those numbers. And the commercial guy, first thing they'll come in, they'll want goggled-eyed or pigment around the eyes. Then they want below breed average on birth weight, and they want as much yearling weight as they can get, and then they want high marbling and ribeye area. The Hereford Association does a great job of putting together a certified Hereford beef index, and then our biggest customer who's bought 45 bulls from us in the last 2 years, they want to be in the top quarter of that CHB index.
But AHA has been renowned for decades, centuries, one of the strongest breed association, I'd say, in the world. The bottom line, with all the data that we've collected and continue to progress in terms of not only genetic but performance measures, are based around the Hereford female as well as the Hereford sire. But that Hereford female is so well documented to go in different breed. We've got such a enormous database now collected that allows our customers, no matter what breed they're using these cattle on, just a decided advantage in terms of marketing programs. What AHA has done as good as any association and as good as any marketing program has been the various programs they have added to help not only us but our customers in terms of marketing the end product, and that's their progeny. A program that we're really excited about and be able to help our customers promote their progeny is the Maternal Advantage program. That's one of the newest marketing programs the American Hereford Association has launched. It's really an exciting program in the fact that it meets the demands of being able to select Hereford sires that are in the top 50% of either the Baldy Maternal Index or the Brahman Influence Index. Both of these are economically relevant traits that allow a producer to go in and select on a value that is backed by our whole herd total performance record program. It's extremely accurate, and it's the most comprehensive database in the beef industry. This program allows Angus sired cow herds or Brahman influence cow herds to be able to utilize the value of a Hereford bull that meets these upper requirements within this program, and it allows them to be able to market the progeny of both of these programs to the highest advantage. One of the cornerstones of our program has been able to combine phenotype with these genetic databases. It allows us to be on the cutting edge of using the best, not only technology, but the highest performing cattle. So with the common denominator of the nation's majority cow herd being black-hided, this program allows a producer to go in and select a Hereford sire that's going to rank in the top 50% of this Baldy Maternal Index. to go on their cow herd, thereby giving them added maternal advantages, whether they keep these calves as replacement females or they decide to retain ownership into a feed yard. To tie this together with kind of where Barber Ranch markets our bulls, the majority of our buyers will be down in the southeastern part of the United States, and they're going to be a heavy Brahman influence as well as crossbred black baldy type herds. Our bulls have consistently been in that top 50% because we've taken advantage of the marketing programs and the data that we've been allowed to generate on our cattle through AHA's Total Performance Program, which really is the cornerstone of AHA's database, and it's the envy of all breed associations.
We've used the tools that are out there to raise the best Herefords possible. We use genomics, we select bulls and females and make cattle that have low birth weights. They've got a lot of growth. When we have our bull sale in San Saba, we'll sell quite a few bulls off the top end to other registered seed-stock producers, but at the same time, the majority of those bulls will go to commercial herds, whether that's Brahman breeders trying to breed those tiger F1 stripe females or black baldy calves.
With the data that we've collected and the association has, it's allowed us to increase the number of expected progeny differences to look at. It's also allowed us to build on these profit indexes that are more commercially oriented for producers to select sires from. We've just got such a plethora of data at our fingertips now, and that has equated into our customers being able to sort based on what their goals are.
I feel like our bulls really complement other herds, and it doesn't matter whether you retain the cattle and feed them out. They're going to perform well in the feedlot and then grade out well. If you want to sell the calves at weaning, we still raise a lot of performance bulls, and a lot of these herds in America, they do wean the calves off and sell them by the pound. So I feel like we cast a pretty wide net and try to cover most segments of the beef industry on the genetics that we raise.
What we strive to do is bring in the most cutting-edge sires that the breed offers in order to complement and balance our cow herd, which is already known to be really stout in terms of the way they're made. They're going to be a heavier structured, higher performing cows.
Up next,
He started to blossom and turned out that we had a Denver national champion on our hands.
elite Barber Ranch genetics perform in the pasture and the show ring. That story is after the break on The American Rancher. Welcome back to The American Rancher. For decades, Barber Ranch has had a solid reputation for developing phenotypically and genetically superior Hereford seed stock that work just as well in the show ring as they do in the pasture.
We've done very, very well with the Barbers there. Our first heifer, our little girl came in and showed, we showed her at the Tri-State Fair, and she was supreme overall at the Tri-State Fair. Went on down to the state show, placed very well, I think reserve division in that, and then went on into the Junior Nationals and placed in the top 5 in the class at the national level, our first year showing with that. And then every year we've been progressing and getting a lot better and a lot more successful. Last year my daughter showed a heifer at the Junior National show. She was also the reserve supreme this year at the Tri-State Fair, and went on to the Junior National level, and she was a reserve division behind the grand overall. And so they are dang sure putting my kids in the spotlight. We're very, very blessed that they are giving us the quality of cattle to show and giving them a chance to hit the big ring, and with very, very good luck.
At Barber Ranch, we do breed a lot of cattle that are very successful in the show ring, and we do sell heifer calves to junior exhibitors and other people who like to show cattle and really showcase genetics around the country. But our real passion and our biggest goal is to sell quality bulls to the commercial cattlemen, and then also really kind of high-end bulls to other purebred Hereford breeders. In our sale, the first thing you'll notice, all of our cows, they're Barber Ranch bred. One thing that we take a lot of pride in is the breeding that on all the cows. They're not cattle that we've purchased from a lot of other herds, they're ones that we've bred and raised on our ranch. With that, we've also bred quite a few really good herd sires that are really hot in the cattle industry right now, especially in the Hereford breed. A lot of the bulls in the sale will be sired by some of these sires, but we're also aware that there's other good sires bred by other ranches out there that complement our genetics, so we're always trying to keep an eye out for not only the best stuff in our herd, but the best genetics nationally. And if we can go find a bull that works and complements our genetics, so we definitely do that. We feel doing that gives our customers the most variety and the best possible genetics nationally.
specifically within where we are today, we've been able to utilize genetics such as the Gabrielle Foundation female. That's really a lot of the cattle here go back to that Gabrielle line. We've used a Sooner bull, which goes back to the online bull, an older polled bull. And we've really been able to infuse new genetics with kind of some older, more popular herd sires and genetic families that really nicked well with what our genetic base was here.
I'd like to say a typical Barber bull is one that's going to be stouter than the average, really a heavy muscled, good looking animal that's structurally correct.
But I guess Bel Air and 4030, the sire of Charles Sutton, both descend from the 8052 cow. And anyway, 4030 was a bull that was going to go through our bull sale here a few years ago, and we really liked him. He was polled, dark red, and about as correct made as you could possibly make one. And so we pulled him out of the sale to turn out and breed, and then we bred a bunch of cows with him. And his first calf crop produced, that went through our bull sale, produced this Charles Sutton bull.
We've used Barber genetics throughout the years through artificial insemination. This would have been the first bull that we've purchased from Barber's ranch.
At our bull sale, every animal has to be picked up, or that's a sale barn. They have a sale the next day, so any bull that sells on Superior, we haul home. Charlie bought him sight unseen, and when we got him home, he was separated out, and we looked at him, and he's double goggled-eyed, really, really stout, a moderate, deep rib bull that just puts a lot of things together. All of our famous cows like 901, Gabrielle, the 786G cow, all are in his pedigree. So he's got our elite cows in his pedigree. His numbers are right, and he's just an outstanding bull with a great set of EPDs.
Dale called the day after the sale, after we bought Charles Hutton, and said he'd like to buy a back half interest in him, and we agreed. We were actually just looking for a bull to clean up on past 4-H projects at a range bull sale, and luck would have it, he started to blossom, and turned out that we had a Denver national champion on our hands.
He won his division in Kansas City, Denver, and Fort Worth.
I guess the rest is history, but he's one that, just really excelled in the deal, and that's, kind of a testament to our bull sale. You can buy bulls, that compete at the highest level in the show ring too, out of that sale. We've got a pretty good track record to show that we're pretty elite breeders, and that, we've had more different champions in the past 15 years than anybody else in the country, and I think that's a testament to our breeding, and it's both horned and polled. Our November bull sale is always the second Wednesday in November. We focus more on the commercial cattlemen in the deal, and that's, kind of a testament to our bull sale. You can buy bulls, that compete at the highest level in the show ring too, out of that sale.
Bel Air is kind of a unique animal. I think he weighed 64 when he was born, but really when he turned a year is when he just exploded in terms of power and muscle. The unique thing about Bel Air is he is out of such a phenomenal uddered cow, and the Charles Hutton bull he's so powerful, and that's what the people are wanting, a moderate frame, powerfully muscled bull that's very structurally correct and double red-eyed.
Our annual bull sale will be the second Wednesday in November at Jordan Cattle there in San Saba, Texas. We'll sell close to 90 registered horned and polled Hereford bulls, along with just a handful of open and bred heifers. The bulls will range everywhere from 2-year-olds with a lot of long yearlings all the way to some straight yearlings. In this sale, we'll have all bulls with genomic parentage verification and genomically enhanced EPDs, so you know that we've got the most accurate data there is out there. One thing you'll notice is there's going to be a lot of spread cattle in there, and what I mean by that is there will be a lot of bulls that have a low birth weight and they'll have a high yearling weight. They have quite a bit of growth. And then we've also got quite a few bulls that are going to have a high dollar CHB value, which is a value that the Hereford breeds promoted pretty heavily here the last couple of years, that promotes Hereford bulls on Angus cows.
We're excited about this group of bulls. Most of them are dark pigmented. They're got the below breed average on birth and above 95 on yearling. We've really concentrated on the certified Hereford beef index, just the things that our customers have told us they want. We'll have a lot more of the 40-30 progeny, which is really sought after when everybody saw the great udders on the females out of 40-30, and over half the bulls in the sale will be what we consider light birth weight or heifer bulls, and we're really proud of this set of bulls.
The 2296 bull that Upstream raised has done a great job for us. There'll be several sons of him. A bull that Jason Hoffman purchased from Frederickson's named Authority. There'll be several sons to him. Just a little bit of everything, really. Another thing where we're really diversifying is we're also starting to raise miniature Hereford cattle. In fact, we're really successful with the first one we ever raised was this past year, a bull we call Tyrion. And anyway, we ended up showing him a little bit of the state show this summer, and he won the state show. And then a really reputable breeder in Kansas called KLD Herefords bought half of them from us. And as a calf, he won the Denver Miniature Bull Show this past year.
Join the Barber family for the 2019 Barber Ranch Bull Sale on Wednesday, November 13th in San Saba, Texas. For details, log on to barberranch.com or superiorlivestock.com. And as always, the Barber Ranch Bull Sale will be broadcast on Superior. That's all the time we have today. For more information about us, log on to theamericanrancher.com or connect with us on Facebook. I'm Pam Minnick for the entire American Rancher team. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
That was Superior.